Hey everybody, this is your favorite Wild PK. Yes, this is Lady Alicia. You guys, I'm so excited to have you on today. We are talking about disappointment in dating. And let me just tell you right now, our guest, Destiny Lane. Now, not only is she my bestie, not only is she a sister, like she's godmother to my kids, but she has her own story to tell you guys, and it is a doozy. If you don't follow her on TikTok, you can hear her journey all the way up. I promise you, all the way up through her journey through her divorce, through having a child with autism, dealing with bullying. Like her story is her own. I don't want to tell it all. So I want to just say, welcome, Destiny.
Hey.
Say hey.
Hey.
Hey, what's up? I'm so excited to have you on here. Destiny, I already gave you a nice introduction, but I want you to go ahead and just introduce yourself and just tell people who you are and just a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So my name is Destiny. I am 29. I'm currently a single mother of two. Both of my kids have autism, but I also am a CEO of Metanoa Graphics.
That's right.
So I do graphics, I do videos, I do social media content, managing and all those fun things. I also make shirts and I sing. I do a lot of things. Just trying to be a single mom with a hustle at this point, okay?
I mean, you're a jack of all trades. Let's really be honest. If it's graphics, she got it. If it's social media, she got it. This, if you guys don't know, this is like my right hand to a lot of the things that I do. She is someone that is a writer for a friend. Like when I say, sis, I need you to show up at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, I done went to the emergency room with this chick and she was watching my kids while I was there. And like,
Because
there's not too many people.
Period.
Like there's not too many people who you can call on and count on just to show up for you. So Destiny, I love you. You are my sister. You are my friend. And I mean, let's get into it. We're talking about disappointment in dating, and I'm ready to let you. Now, look, now, of the two of us, I talk the most. So this is going to be interesting. I cannot wait for her to tell her story. So go ahead, Destiny, tell your story. Tell the people who you are. Uh-oh, did I lose you? Uh-oh, maybe I lost her. It's okay.
Oh, you hear me now?
There we go. I can hear you now.
But then I went straight into dating, which I realized I wasn't ready for. And I realized that the dating world is just trash. It's pea water out there. And I just don't want to deal with it. It's, it's not fun at all.
So for you, dating right now, like many others, it's very challenging to maneuver through and it's very hard. But let me ask you this. So just in case, because you did go out a little bit, we had, first of all, we know that you recently got divorced and you have 2 children with autism. Like, so what are your expectations moving forward? Because I know that even after a big breakup like you experienced or a divorce, it has probably changed the way you view dating going forward. Am I right?
My expectations, I guess, would be, I don't know how to put it, something different than what I'm used to, especially when I was married in. So someone that's kind, like I don't have to, someone that's just does things without me having to ask, just thoughtful things, but also considerate of feelings and just the space that I guess that everybody be in, because my kids are autistic, so I would need someone to be patient with them and kind. And, you know, of course, sometimes things don't go as planned or things can be very aggravating, but just have the, just be an adult and knowing how to regulate your emotions, because their emotions go off of everybody else's emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, because I am autistic, and so certain things that would be, I guess, normal for other people, it would trigger me, or it would make me like do other stuff. So I guess just the knowledge of being patient, being kind, being loving, but also giving people room to, mess up or try to figure things out without being controlling, I guess the word I would use for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, y'all, I've been out of the game. It feels like an eternity, but it's been about at least a solid 14 years since I've met my husband, started dating him, and then got married. And I say this all the time. I don't know how y'all are doing it. Like, I have no idea. Y'all are the strongest soldiers out there. I know there's a lot of women that are like, hey, I'm not putting up with this. I'm not dealing with this no more. But then there's a group of us that are still, I don't want to say bitter, but we can get bitter after having like this whirlwind romance. We're thinking it's exactly what we want, and we're thinking that this is the route that we should go, but then things don't turn out right. And how are you moving through just the disappointment of, it felt like, especially being married before, you thought what you were marrying into was what God had for you. How much did that impact your decision making going into dating?
Ooh, child. Oh my God. It was a big impact because I realized that the things that I want, or let's say not things I want, the things that I attract are not necessarily the best things for me. Why I attract those type of things, I have no idea. So I'm trying to look for the opposite of what I would like, because usually the things I like don't end up the best for me. Also, I think I told you this when I started a year ago. I was like, if they can't treat me like God treats me, or if they can't treat me like how you would treat me, then I don't want it. And I'm not even gonna like negotiate. I'm not even gonna try to fix it. It's just a no for me. Like, I'm not going down that road. I'm not doing it, because the hurt before, I would put that on the same level as giving birth. That's how painful it was. Like, I was hurt. Like, I was drinking all the time. Like, I just didn't want to feel nothing. And I don't want to go back to that, because that was just the most scariest time for me, because like I was here physically, but I wasn't here like mentally. So like I don't really remember a lot of what was going on. I just know it was like days where it's like it was bad, and I don't remember it. I guess I would try to block it out, but that really impacted my dating, because it's like I love. I'm a lover's girl, and I initially, my thought process is, well, I have to go off what you show me. And right now you're showing me that I can trust you. So I'm going to trust you until you show me different, which probably isn't the best way to do that. And so I go forward with putting my all in it, like head on. And it usually ends up with them saying like, oh, I just want to be your friend. Or, oh, I don't want to date. Oh, I got this going on. And it's like, okay, but you knew this beforehand. So now I see you as being manipulative. And then it's like, well, I don't trust men. I'm not going to even deal with men. That part. That's how it works for me.
So right now, what I hear you say, because you said a mouthful, friend. You did. You said a mouthful. So what I hear you say is, because of that past relationship, it's changed. It has changed the way that you view dating. But I think the biggest takeaway that I pull from it is that you try to lay all your cards out up front. This is what I want. This is what I expect. This is what I need from you. And is this all right? And then they will say back to you kind of like, oh, okay. Because you told them, right? You told them what you're wanting. But in that situation, they heard you. But they're still, I don't want to say falling short, but they're still in a place where it's like, oh, okay, that's what you need. But they're not. And then they'll tell you, hey, I just want to be friends. So when you hear that they just want to be friends with you, then, or if they're just looking for friendship, because I've heard this plenty of times. I know that there are situations where the guy will say, you'll say, hey, I'm looking for a partner, I'm looking for a husband, somebody, a father to my kids, this is what I'm looking for. And you're talking to this guy and he was like, oh man, that's cool. It's like, well, what are you looking for? And he's like, well, I'm trying to figure things out, I gotta get my money right, I gotta right now I'm in the zone of let's be friends, and then we'll go from there and stuff like that, which isn't a problem. But in that moment, how do you maneuver through that? Because they're telling you, you're saying what you want, they're saying what they have to offer, and which is friendship. So what's the next step for someone who could be in the same shoes as you right now?
I mean, I don't have problems with being friends if they are like, they just want to be friends. I think what my issue comes into play is if your actions are saying something totally different than what you're saying. So you're saying friends, but your actions are not saying we're being friends.
Oh,
so then
okay.
When I take it as when I'm looking at your actions, and it's like, okay, it's not friends, but then you turn around and be like, oh no, I just wanted to be friends. Then it's like, so what was the actions for? The actions were not needed. That's not showing that we're friends. You know what I'm saying? That's where it crosses over for me, and I'm like, okay, so I don't want to mess with you no more. Because that's, to me, it's like, now I feel like you're being manipulative. You're just trying to get what you need or what you want from me. And I don't like that at all, so I'm going to cut you off. And that's it for me.
Let me tell you something. Now, I will say this. You are really good at doing that. You be like, oh no, I've got to a good place. I'm good on that. Don't worry about me.
I need my peace. You're not going to take my peace. I worked too hard for that.
No, she said, you're not going to take my peace.
I worked too hard for it.
You did. And I think that's a really good place to be aware of for yourself. You're like, hey, this is what I've gone through. And in the midst of going through this, I'm not that you can control every outcome, but it's like, this is not aligning. What I want and what you're doing is not aligning. Now, something that I heard you say was that you would tell them what you want their words and their actions to line up. Speak a little bit about that, because some people, or what I'm hearing is that some people will take what somebody says and run with it, or somebody will take what somebody does and run with it. But what you are wanting is somebody's words and actions to line up. So what does that look like for you?
It looks like, say, if you're saying we're gonna be friends, okay, so we're gonna be friends. That doesn't mean you text me, good morning, beautiful, good morning, queen, or you're like, let's go on a date, or let's just hang out, and it's not really hanging out. It's like, oh, you want to be friends with benefits. I don't do the friends with benefits. I ain't never like that. That's not for me. If you're like, okay, I like you, or whatever the case may be, and I want to see where it goes, okay, cool. So do stuff gradually. Let's text, let's talk, let's get to know one another. Let's see likes, dislikes. Let's see trauma, history, like what's going on with your life, my life, how would that interact with us being together, what would that look like? Do you stay calm? Do you get really angry real fast? Like, can we go sit down and eat, talk, see how we interact, person to person in face? Like, all those things matter to me, because I've been in a relationship where it's all words, and I tried to make up things in my mind, like, okay, so they must mean this, or I think they mean this. And it's like, I don't want to have to assume what you mean. I just need it to be clear for me. Like, be clear, let me know ahead of time, because I like it I'm gonna put all my stuff on the table ahead of time, so then you can make the right decisions for you, whatever you feel is healthy for you, and I want the same in return. So just tell me up front, so then I know how to move. I don't want to be moving based off something you're saying or doing, and it's not real. Because then it's like, I wasted my time. You could have just told me up front, and I could have made the best decision for me.
I think a lot of times when I don't want to say guys, because girls do it too, right? I think that in situations like that, it's somebody like you said, trying to be manipulative, but they're also trying to keep their options open. See, they're really just trying to keep their options open. They don't want to close the door. They don't want to keep it shut. They want to go, okay, so you right here. I don't know where this is gonna go, so I'm gonna breadcrumb you a little bit and see if you want to come inside the house. And then for the other ones, you got some girls who are already in the house. They kicking it, got their feet up, they cooking dinner for them and washing clothes and stuff. But even they don't have access to his heart. They don't have access to their mind. They don't have access to who that person is and things like that. So, and I know it's tough. Like it has to be tough. Like, even though I know I've been married and here on Wild Preachers Kid, I'm transparent. I know when I was contemplating divorce, and this is recent, contemplating divorce. Sometimes the biggest fear was like, do I even want to try again?
Ooh, no. Look. Honey, that is why I stayed married for so long. I was like, I don't know if I can go back and do this again. And I already know you. I know what you're gonna do. I might as well just stay, because I already know if this happened, it's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen. And I just lived through it. I can't.
You know what? That's when people say, I'd rather be with the devil I know than the devil I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And it keeps us bound up in certain situations that we don't need to be bound up in or trapped into, all because of familiarity, of not feeling. For one friend of mine, she just felt like a failure. Like divorce was like failure to her. And oh my goodness. And if I'm really honest and just trying to be transparent about myself, like, I'm thankful to you, because even when I was contemplating it and thinking about it, you were honest with me. You were like, well, okay, so what are you going to do? Are you going to do this? You're going to prep this? Or, it's because it's not just for us, it would have been a divorce, but even for someone who has been living with someone for a long time, right? They're not married, but they've been living with somebody for a long time. It's like starting over. The thought of that is daunting for a lot of people. Like, I done invested this time, I done put in my energy, but I like to believe that even in the midst of that level of confusion and uncertainty, that God still has his way. Like, God is still walking you through that. Because not to put nobody out there, but ex-husband was not the best person for you. That's the nicest way that I'm gonna say it, because you know how I feel. And but that's between me and you. So this person was not the best person for you, and I feel like you being with them for as long as you were, I just noticed that you were just slowly becoming not yourself.
I don't even remember, but I have like pictures and videos of myself that I look back on, and it's like I could see, like, I was just so dull and I was so numb. Like, you could see it in my face, and like I gained so much weight too, and it's like, but my eyes, I just looked like dead, like. And I was, because like I would just do anything. Like, okay, I just want him to be home with me. I let him do whatever he wants as long as he comes home. I let him say whatever he wants as long as he's come home, right? But I was like dead inside. I didn't have any feeling. And that's just a really bad place to be in. And I don't know, I just would never want anybody to go through that. Because when I say I don't remember a lot of stuff in my marriage, I don't, because I pushed it out of my mind just so I could live day to day. Like, my focus was, okay, the kids. I got to worry about the kids. I need them happy. So everything else just has to be okay. He's gone all night. That's fine. He doesn't want to be with me. He wants to be with his friends. That's fine. Like, we were married, but we lived two separate lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was super hard. And I told myself I would never date anybody or get into another marriage like that. because that's not how I view marriage. Like, I wanted the husband, kids, and the big house and the white picket fence. And I was pleading with God. I was like, hey, I want this. Help me. Like, help make this work. And it wasn't in the cards, because that's not who I was supposed to be with. Was I mad at first? Yes. I was super mad. I didn't go to church for a minute. I was heated. I was mad. Because I was
let's talk about that. So why were you mad at God? Because I know something, if I could share this, I remember you said that you made a prayer to God to make your family healthy.
Yeah.
And what you wanted and versus what God did, what's the difference between the two?
Well, I started then, even when I was pregnant with Cash. And after I was pregnant with Cash, I was at Hope Church, and it was this conference, and I was like, God, if I'm supposed to be in this marriage, or if I'm not supposed to be in this marriage, let me know. He kept sending me signs. And I was like, nope, that's not it. I kept praying it. And I guess the last time he was like, look now, I'm stop sending these signs. Now, this is the big one now. If you don't get it this time, I don't know what to tell you. I saw it. I got it the last time, okay? But I wanted to be with my kid's father.
Right.
Because I was like, I'm only getting married once. I'm not doing it no more. I'm not doing it no 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. That's not what I'm doing. And God saw something different. And I was mad because the vision I had in my mind wasn't his. Even though it's what I asked for, it's just not how I wanted it. Because I wanted him to be with me.
Yeah.
So it can be healthy. But it was healthy when he left. So, I had to get out of my feelings, be like, okay, I guess your way was right, but, whatever. But I was mad because I'm singing every weekend, 2, 3 times, Saturday, Sunday. I'm running up the highway and byways. I'm singing in church. I'm singing in this group. And the one thing I asked you to do was to keep my family together and make us healthy, and you won't give me that. Why? I pay my tithes. I sing. I do all these things for you, and you can't give me this one thing I want.
Yeah.
I'm mad at you. I'm not going back to church. I'm not singing no more. I'm not doing none of that. And you had to tell me, like, it's okay, you don't want to go, but you got to come back. And I was like, yeah, I'll think about it.
I know it. Y'all, she left me. We used to sing together all the time. This is my road dog right here. So if I go sing somewhere, she normally is the soprano to my alto / tenor. And I'll be so thankful because I need a reliable. Let's just go ahead, get some likes in the chat for me, because if you are somebody and you're used to singing with people and they don't know how to sing, it is rough out there in these streets. Okay, like,
Hello.
So anytime I sing, I'll be like, they ask me, do you know anybody that sings? She is always the first person that I call. But I wanted to encourage you in that moment because what you were dealing with was hard. Like, I think sometimes even as believers, I don't care what specific religion you may have, we put such a negative emphasis on being divorced. So it makes it even harder for you to make, in my opinion, a godly choice, because the assumption is that marriage is ordained by God, which I believe it is. But I also know that God gives us all free will. So how we act in the marriage is truly our own. Whether you're an amazing wife, whether he's an amazing husband, whether y'all are great parents, all of those things, those are our choices. So in that moment, you're praying like, God, heal my family. And the idea that you had was that I want him, me, and the kids to be a healthy family. But I think what God ended up revealing to you is that he's not going to go against, even though that's his kid, because technically your ex-husband is his kid too, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to force him to do anything that's not in him to do or that he wants to do. He's got to want it.
Yeah.
And he's got to be it. And as much as sometimes we get frustrated with the Lord, because I do too, I get mad. I be like, come get your kid. Come get your son. Come get this man. But the truth of the matter is that I had to remove myself from the situation. I had to remove my wants, my desires for, like, we've all had that prayer where you're like, God, fix this person. If you fix this person, everything else will come into alignment. But
Right.
my thoughts are not higher than God's thoughts, just like his ways are higher than my ways. I don't understand what's going on. So I had to change it from God, fix him, to God, make me aware.
Yeah. That's good.
Make me aware. That's good.
Okay. It's
Because
good.
it's like, make me aware of what I should be praying for. Because you know, friend, I was like, I had a D-Day. I was like, no, I'm for real. Because we had just had I had just had my daughter. She just turned 2 yesterday, everybody. She turned 2. But I had just had my daughter. The day before we went to the hospital to give birth, I sat down with him and I was like, hey, I just want you to know I'm not really happy with this situation. I know we're supposed to have our daughter tomorrow. And this is where I'm at. What I would like to do is give me 6 months. So July 31st of 2023, I said, give me until then so I can get my stuff in order, and then I can I can get a job, and then I can find me an apartment, because I'm going to move out, because whatever this is. And I was like, we'll figure out co-parenting along the way. Like, that was I had got to a place where there was no wiggle room. There was no nothing else. But we've all got to a place where I'm saying, God, this your kid, come get him. But the Lord told me, take your hands off of him. Stop praying a prayer that only benefits you. You need a prayer that benefits you guys as a whole. Now, your situation, of course, was different than mine. And you know, Destiny can tell y'all, it was hard for me to take my hands off of him, because I was mad at him and the Lord, because I was the same shoes as Destiny. I was like, I'm serving, I'm singing, I'm picking up extra ministries, I'm doing all of these things unto your name, tithing, sowing, and giving service and stuff like that. And it's like, if this is what it looks like to be in servitude and still have your house in chaos, I said, I won't be doing this. I won't be doing this.
Doing it. I don't want it.
I won't be doing it. But I think that when we get out of God's way and truly surrender our will unto him, like when you said that it was like you were a zombie almost. You were physically present, but you could tell there was no light behind your eyes. Now, I'm talking about fun-loving, giggly as all get out, likes to... If you need somebody who's just chill, she is the best person to go with, because she don't start no fights, no arguments. She be like, hey man, let's go, let's try it. Why not go? And especially at that time, I didn't even know you that well.
Yeah.
But I feel like God brought me into your life at that moment, because you needed a solid friend.
Indeed.
Yeah, you needed a solid friend. And if nothing else, you taught me so much. It was like being more aware of the people around me and what they're dealing with. And as much as I poured into you confirmed a lot of things in me. I don't think I've ever told you that before. But you confirmed that, you confirmed that I am a good friend and that I'm worth being around. And
yes, you are.
I'm not gonna cry. Cut that out. But you confirmed that in me. You know, like sometimes, especially in ministry and church culture, you know, you have fake friends. You have friends that are just with you because you serve every week, but you don't hang out. You don't talk to them. Like when I left Hope Church, when I left Hope Church, you still reached out to me, and I was like, man, she really want to hang out with me. So it made it easier, all to come to a head, that you were in a very sensitive situation in your own relationship, and here I am being encouraging to you and loving on you and telling you, no, you deserve better, sis. And now look, and like I would tell her, I am not an advocate for divorce. I'm not an advocate for it. Like I don't say, well, leave him, dump him, don't do this with him, and da da da. My argument has always been, if this person never changes, could you see yourself living like this? If they don't change not a thing, could you see yourself living like this for the rest of your life? If the answer is no, then we have to look inward and see what we can do to make a difference. Whether it's, and I mean, the only person you can control is yourself. And I think the biggest blessing was, even for me, I've known you, it feels like an eternity, but I think we're going on almost 10 years now.
Yep,
almost 10 years now that I've known you, and I'm still getting to really see and enjoy this version of Destiny. And I can't wait to see what else God does for you, sis.
Yeah, I'm ready too, because I'm out here. Okay, I'm available. I'm available. Okay.
I'm available.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Available. That's real. But I think it's because I think that after the situation that you were in, I think God just wanted you to himself to love on you. You had experienced a level of emotional, mental, financial, even spiritual abuse that I think you lost yourself. And
I did.
Yeah, and then after being in that place, God was like, okay, let me love on my daughter. I know you wanted to get back out there dating, because he was out there dating. Yeah, he was out there dating.
It's like I'm not used to be. I think this is as long as I've ever been single, because I usually like with someone and then we break up. But then I used to be in these streets, so I used to have a backup for my backup for my backup. So I would already have somebody like waiting.
She said, I used to be in these streets and I had a backup for my backup. I mean, look, you wasn't alone. Come on, tell me something in the chat.
You know,
let me know.
If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. So this is like the longest I've been single. So, you know, it's new, but it's fun. I like it, you know. Ain't gotta worry about nobody's feelings, thoughts, comments, concerns. You know what I'm saying? I do what I want, when I want, where I want it, how I want it. It's nice.
It is nice. I think, as I'll say, as women, especially if you grow up in church, the whole goal is for you to be married. Like, they don't really invest in who you are as a person, things you want to do. So the goal is almost at 18 to be married.
Girl, I was so tired. Girl, I'm so tired. I'm so sick.
You were so tired.
Yes, because I'm a preacher's kid too, so I was like, they don't care about nothing else. How you doing? How's your day? They don't care about that. When you get married, when you gonna start having some kids, like, hold on. Wait, pump your brakes. Okay, give me a minute.
And it's interesting too why they do us like that. Like, they don't do the guys like that, or at least they didn't do the guys like that when I don't know what they're doing now, but they were so hell-bent on get married, have your kids, and do all of it before 25. And then you just see, I feel like the reason why there's so many women getting divorced nowadays is because they did that. And the person that they got married is not always a negative thing. I want to make sure I say this as well. It's not, you're a kid trying to do adult things for the first time in your life, and we don't know what we're doing.
Don't know a thing. That was me. Okay, got engaged at 17. What? Why am I getting engaged at 17? Why am I doing that? I don't know.
I think
got pregnant, and then everybody's like, well, now you stuck with him now. You might as well get married. I might as well get married. Let's go ahead and get tied to knot. Let's do it. Let's tie the knot. Let's get going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think that's that's why I'm seeing such an influx of, it's not just people getting divorced, it's women asking for divorce. And it's just because they followed the world plan. That's how I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
They followed the world plan, and people sprinkled some Jesus or some God on top of it, and was like, "This is what God would have for you." And it's like, some people not meant to be married.
Not.
Some people not meant to have kids.
Yes.
That's okay.
It's A-okay. Don't
Some
do
of
it.
us are meant to be single and enjoy your life.
That's
And
supposed to be the rich aunties. We need these out here in these streets, the rich aunties.
we do.
It's okay to be boring. It's okay.
I think, especially, and I know me and you, we talk about our moms a lot sometimes. We talk about how our moms really set the standard for how we date. Like, my mom was like, don't get married. If I'm honest, my mom was like, don't get married. She was like, live your life, go see the world, don't have kids. Because my mom got married at 17, and getting married at 17, had her first kid by 19, then had me by 21, and then my little sister at 26. It's like all of those years of trying to explore, understand the world, what she wanted to do has come and gone. So when we got 2 of age, she went back to the version of herself that she wanted to do things. I think the reason why you're seeing such a high divorce rate right now is because there's women who's not willing to wait that long.
Yeah.
They say, you know what, it's been 10 years and you still got stains in your drawers, and I'm tired of washing them.
I'm tired of washing them. You too grown for that now. You too grown. What are we doing here? We too grown for this.
But you know, it's like the way that they saw their life going, and we're at a place where it's like, I ain't gotta put up with this. I can figure it out for myself. I can get back on my 2 feet and I can put it together. And I think that's where you are as well. Like, even in the frustration with dating, because we're talking about disappointment in dating, it's taking some of those early life lessons that we learned and then moving them into, okay, God, what happened last time, I don't want a repeat of that. So I need you to explain to me and help me. You know, that's what we're asking for. It's like, help my friend. That's how I say it when I do my prayer for you at night. I'm like, help my friend and guide her. I was like, a lot of times we want wisdom so we know what to do, right? So we can make the best choice. It's like, God, I don't even want the wisdom no more. Guide me.
Okay.
You tell me.
Hold my hand.
Keep holding my hand.
Hold my hand. Just walk me to where you want me to be at this point, because don't make no stops. Don't let me stop you. Just keep going. Okay.
So in your dating experience, okay, let's just go ahead, because the people want to know what has been. I don't want to go into details because I know details, but I don't want to go into details. But what is that one moment since you've been dating that has been the most frustrating at this moment?
Most frustrating, I would have to say, I have to say that it's when the actions don't align with the words, and then they try to say like, oh, well, this is just me being friendly, and it's like, no, it's not. I know when somebody's being friendly. You're not being friendly. That's very frustrating to me, because it's like I have a hard time like trying to figure out if it's just you being friendly or if like you're really into me, and I go based off action. So it's like, you doing all this stuff, it's like, you really into me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm into you too. And then it's like, oh no, I just want to be friends. And I'm like, you stink because your actions don't say that, and now I'm over you. That's the most frustrating for me. So, you know, I've learned to tell them, I'm like, I need you to be very clear. Like, I don't need you to think I'm gonna catch on to it, or I don't want to assume. I need you to tell me very direct and clear. I'm almost 30. Okay, I don't have time for the games. Be clear.
She
Be
said
direct.
like she not turning 30 this year, y'all. Like she turning 30 in a couple of months. She's like, I'm almost 30. You might as well go ahead and say you 30, friend.
I'm gonna rock this 29 till I can't no more. To the 0.1 second. Okay, the 0.1 second. I'm rocking it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, yeah, I need direct, clear communication. I'm an adult. You're an adult. We should all be able to, talk like adults. Don't do the, well, I might, or I think, or yes or no. Don't give me a maybe, ifs, ors. Yes, no. That's all I need. Yes or no.
Now, you said that you have autism. Do you feel like that is a reason why living in the gray is so difficult for you when you're dating?
Yes, it gives me so much anxiety. Because it's like I don't like the have answers. I need a whole answer, and I don't need like layer on top of layer. I just need one layer. Yes or no. I don't need the extra fluff. I can't take the extra fluff because then my mind starts doing these assumptions and scenarios, and I just need the straight. Here it is. I like you. I don't like you. I just want to be friends. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I can live with that. But the extra fluff, I don't like the extra fluff.
That's interesting. I never really thought about how challenging it is. If you're like me and my friend, like being diagnosed at a later time in your life, like I just recently got diagnosed for ADHD, and I've been on my medication almost a week now, you guys. When I say clarity, my God.
Clearly now,
oh my God. Just clarity. I can't even imagine having autism, and then people like to talk in circles, or they like to kind of not tell you directly what they're saying. It's two things happening, because everything is not manipulation, in my opinion. One, people really don't like confrontation. That's number one. And two, people really struggle with communication as a whole.
Yeah.
Like they just struggle with it. And it's what you grew up in. If you had a household where you're not allowed to talk, or you're not allowed to articulate how you feel, it's really challenging for people to do that. But I can't even imagine that with a sprinkle of autism on top of that. And
I was quiet for a long time. I had a hard time with communication and confronting people as well. But I learned that, like, if I don't speak up for me, nobody else is. They're not gonna know what's going on with me or how that makes me feel. So I have to say it. Because if not, they're just gonna keep doing it, and they're gonna think that I'm okay with it, and I'm over here struggling, and they think it's okay, and I'm over here drowning. It's like, no, it's not okay. Just tell me the truth. That's all I want. Tell me the truth.
I love that, though. It just makes you more aware of yourself. I feel like it's a level of accountability. Nobody really likes that word, but it's true. It serves as a level of accountability, so then expectations can be met.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you're someone who needs clear understanding of where we're at, step by step, because and that's perfect, and that makes way more sense, because there's been situations where I'm like, nah, Destiny, why'd you do that? I don't understand.
No, you're like, girl, what's going on with you?
What's going on? Why not? Why did we do that?
I don't know, Alicia. I don't know.
But if there is, so like, I'm a person who can live in the gray, right? I can live in the gray. Black and white is not an issue, but I'd be like, you don't mean that, because, and that's probably my problem. I'd be like, because it's more like your opinion can change. Anybody's opinion can change. So you may say, like, if you told me, hey, Alicia, we just want to be friends or whatever, I would convince myself that back in the day, don't judge me. I would convince myself that if I did enough, I could change your opinion. That's how I used to function. Because I'd be like, he's just saying that right now. He don't know how good I am.
Oh, that's what I used to do too, girl.
See, and so now with just trying to be more vulnerable, because that's really what it is.
It is.
Instead of me putting up a tough shell, it's more like I can be direct with a person and be like, hey, I see that this is what's happening. I see, like you said, you're saying this, but you're doing this. This confuses me. Because in the friendship category, you're not asking me out on a date.
Right.
In the friendship category, we're not texting or first thing in the morning, like, good morning, love, good morning, boo. What they say, grand rising queen. It's like, what? It's like, what is happening? And it's like, I understand that when you are dating, you like, we're still people, we're still flesh human beings. Like, the attention is nice, especially if you been in a drought and it's been a long time. You she said hello. For real, because it's like, if you've spent a long time, like you said, this is the longest you've ever been single, and somebody starts doing that, you be like, the only people that I know that do that are people who like me and people who would want to be with me. So if you could put them in a box for yourself, it's like, I'm gonna put you in this box, you're a friend. I'm gonna put you in this box, you are a potential a partner or whatever. But if they are bouncing a little bit over here and over there, it makes it real confusing.
It does.
I think I have a homeboy. Shout outs to Wally. I don't know. Shout outs to Wally. One thing I used to love about him, he was like, I'm direct, sis. He was like, I'm not trying to marry nobody. He was like, so when they first start talking to me and they're like, oh, I'm looking for marriage and stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. He'd be like, I'm not looking for anybody to marry. Like, the last time me and him talked about dating and stuff. And I was like, I said, now see, that's honesty. I think where we miss a step, if I could just add some awareness, I think where we miss a step is when you say, hey, I'm looking for this type of partner. And then this other person comes in and says, hey, I'm just looking for friendship. I think that we do ourselves a disservice by trying to figure out how real that is. It's more like both parties should just go, you know what, maybe we should not talk to each other, because what I'm looking for doesn't line up to what you're looking for. Because like you said, you're not looking for a friend. I got plenty of friends. I don't need no new friends.
No new friends. No new
friends. So in this situation, you're talking to someone who has admitted that they just looking for a friend. Now, I feel like both parties need to be held accountable, because what he could have done was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna play with you like that. You have a great day, and I'm gonna go about my business. Right. And the same for you, though. The same for you or anybody else. Like, the moment that what you're wanting doesn't align, I'm not saying, you have to know yourself. That's how I'm gonna say it. You have to know yourself.
I'll be mean. Like, I'll be cordial, you know. Like, hey, how you doing? How was your day? If I see him face to face, but like any extra, like, you're not getting no extra from me.
Yeah, but I think that's a good place to be at, though. Like, the moment that you hear, I'm just trying to be friends, or I'm just seeing what, I'm not on this road yet. I'm not trying to be in a relationship. That's normally what they say. I'm not trying to be in a relationship. Then you have to lock it in that no matter what they say and no matter what they do, they're not trying to be in a relationship with me. It doesn't matter how confusing it is. Doesn't matter what it looked like. And I think that's why you could you can get confused in those moments, is because it's like they say it's breadcrumbing. Like, they're giving bits of hope, because what you really want is a relationship. But you have to hold yourself accountable and say, but he didn't tell me that he wanted to be with me. He told me he's not looking for a relationship, and that's not what I want. Like, let me reel that back in. Let me not get too excited.
Yeah.
He wants to take me out to eat. You be like, okay, and you want. I'm all down for a free meal if somebody wants to take you out to eat. Like, friends, I do it for you. Like, you'll do it for me. We'll go sit somewhere and we pay for each other or whatever. That's just our friendship as well. I don't think there's anything wrong for a guy to do that either. Like, some people get real funny about it, but I don't think there's anything wrong for a guy to do that. But I think it's because we associate when a guy does it to be a date.
Yeah.
Instead of it just being, hey, he said he want to be my friend. He buying me some food.
Let's go eat some lunch.
Let's go eat some lunch. Exactly. And I think that's how you should take it. And it's not that it can't change. And it's not that it won't open up into something else. Because who knows what the future may hold, right?
Yeah.
But it's not you putting yourself in a situation where this person has told you, I'm not looking for a relationship. Then we don't put him in a potential dating pile. He stays over there.
Yeah, and it just helps with not being disappointed at all. And the heartbreak, it just helps so much. Because it's like, I don't have a problem with being friends. But it's like, if that needs to be something in the forefront. Let's not do all the extra boyfriend, girlfriend activities, and then at the end be like, oh, well, I just want to be your friend. It's like, well, you knew that in the beginning, so why didn't you just start off with that?
Oh, I see you, Shahid. He said, and that's actually a nice Bible story too, about Jacob worked 7 years for Rachel. Joseph was isolated in prison for years before he was given a wife. He said, don't pursue a relationship or marriage until God has processed you. Come on now, refined you, sanctified you, delivered you from the works of the flesh, and giving you wisdom, revelation, and insights about life, love, and family. Thank you, Shahid. That's him on Podbean. Yeah, I mean, and I agree with you too, because I think that in one of my earlier episodes about is God in your plan, like I think that ministry and church and things like that, they just teach us to hit those hallmarks. They don't educate us on how to get there. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what we miss. We miss those pieces on how to actually get there. So if the whole point of me, and even for guys, it's like they prepare men to be breadwinners, right? They want you guys to go start work. They want y'all to make a good income, to pursue either school or whatever your trade is. But then it's like, when you do get married, they haven't taught you how to be a husband. They haven't taught you how to be a father. Whether you had a male role model in your life or not, it's like no one's preparing us to be the head of household. That's really what we're trying to prepare for. Yeah. Whether you have kids or not, no one prepares us for that. So you're absolutely right. Like, those seasons of where technically, even with Joseph, like being isolated in prison for years, I mean, I don't know how more single you can get.
Okay.
Sitting in prison. Sitting in prison.
Okay.
And the Lord is encouraging him, building him up in those all those years. Like, if you really think about it, like, Joseph is sitting there and he's like, man, when I get out of here, I know the Lord gonna bless me, and I'm gonna find me a mate. I'm gonna make all this money. It's like, no. That's not the goal. The goal is God was ministering to him. God was encouraging him. He was spending time with God. So much that, I mean, it rubbed off on the guards. They're witnessing this prisoner have a relationship with the Lord in his singleness, technically. Yeah. And that brought him blessings, and brought him favor, that brought him even to a place where he could be his best self. So when the wife does come, he got what he needs. He knows who he is. Yeah. Same thing with Jacob and Rachel. Now, that situation, that was just real. There's a lot going on with that situation. Oh, okay. But I will say, I will acknowledge, Jacob was willing to put in 7 years to wait for Rachel.
That's what I'm talking about. I need that type of energy. Give me that.
She said I need that. I'm with it though. Like, it's the rush to the altar. It's the rush to get the ring. It's the rush to get the wedding. It's the rush. It's like, I don't know why there's so much rush behind it. And like, even before with God and Adam in the Garden of Eden, like, I'm not saying that Eve was an afterthought, but he really just wanted to spend time. He wanted to have a relationship with Adam first.
Yeah.
Then it was like, okay, let's get you a partner. So then, like, so you can do life with someone. So those moments where I'm not walking with you in the garden, you have somebody along your side, and you can share what I've taught you. You can share with them and talk to them and confide in them, because we do better when we're not alone. But if that partner is just anybody, that's when things fall apart. That's when things
I'm sorry.
that's when things are just hard. And I'm not saying, like, I've been married and for a good long time, and next year will be 10 years, and these last 3 years, it was difficult for us. It was hard for us. And I didn't, like, I told him, yes, this Valentine's Day, I was like, you know what, babe, we made it. Like, we made through it. Like 2 years ago, I was out the door, and we're here, and we're loving on each other, and we're smiling, and I'm thankful to that. But for someone who's about to start over, like yourself, it's okay to be in this place of uncertainty and allowing God to lead you. And I would encourage anybody who's single, to ask God, instead of providing you with the man, it's like, God, I want you to be so close to me that I hear your breath. I want you so close to me that when you whisper, I know it's you, and I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If I feel like if when God and Adam were in the garden, he made the perfect woman for Adam. That's the one that he gave him, right? And it should be the same way for the rest of us. Instead of trying to hurry up and do these things, I really, really believe, and I could be wrong, this is just my opinion. I'm not a theologian, I'm not a minister, I'm not anything like that. But I believe that the closer and closer that you draw to the Lord, not the works of serving in church, because I'm guilty of saying that too. It's like, I did all this for you in your name, Lord. Why can't I have what I want? He's like, if you drew closer to me, and then if he's drawing closer to me as well, guess what? Y'all will come into alignment. Yeah, like, think about it. If God is walking and I'm drawing closer to him, and my husband or my partner is drawing closer to God, there's no way we won't be able to meet each other.
Yeah, go ahead, don't give me the shout.
I cannot.
Ooh, Lord.
I'm serious.
I am. I feel it creeping on me. That is good. That is
But
good.
I think that's what we need, though. I mean, even when you're married, you still have to draw closer to the Lord. He can't be a man of God if he's not listening to God. I can't be a woman of God if I'm not listening to God.
Teach the people.
Oh my goodness, y'all. I want to make sure. I'm sorry. I could talk about relationships all day, because they are such a beautiful dance. You know, there's highs, there's lows. Normally people say it's a roller coaster, but I feel like it's a dance. There's moments where you have to lean into that person's arms and pray that they don't drop you. You gotta sometimes move quick together. Sometimes you separate, do your own individual thing, and come back together, and like, it's a dance, in my opinion. And if you're willing to submit, I would say, if the music of your dance was the Lord's voice, if you're willing to submit to it, you'll always come back together. You'll always come back.
I'm fine.
You're fine. So I want to encourage somebody today. I do. I want to encourage somebody. So, Destiny, if you had some encouragement for somebody who's dating and you're not quite sure of what to do next, let's talk about that for a second let's go back just a little bit. So now that you had the disappointment in your marriage, Now you were frustrated at God, because we did talk about this. I want to bring it home. What brought you back to church to begin with? Because you was like, God, you done disappointed me with this marriage. You didn't do what I asked him to, what I told you to do. This man is still out here being himself, and I don't like it. And to leaving to leaving church to then coming back, what made you come back?
What made me come back was I was like broken. I was like under the ground, and I didn't know what else to go, what else to do. And something just told me to start praying. And I was praying. I think I prayed for like a good month, and then something was like, you need to go back to church. And you have been telling me, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. And then one Sunday, I was like, I'm going to just get up and go to church. I think I surprised you because I didn't tell you I was coming.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm going to just go to church. And it felt where it was. It didn't feel. Every Sunday, I was at the altar crying. Because Pastor Justin, like every Sunday, is like, you just talking to me this whole 2 months. Okay. But I needed it. And I felt like my ex-husband leaving was the only way I would put God first. Because I was so focused on him. I mean, I was focused on God, but not as much as I should. And so he showed me like, okay, he's number one. And he's the only one that can make me happy. I can't put everything on a man because they wave. Their emotions up and down. He's consistent, so I have to put all my trust in him. I was like, okay. So I started doing that. And I don't know, it's just been different. Like it's easier for me to pray, and it's like I hear him more. And I'm not confused on what I'm hearing. And I don't try to be like, okay, or I might do it. It's like, if he says it, I'm going to do it. Might be crazy. I don't care. The first time you tell me, I'm going to do it this time. But that's why I went back to church, was because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I was like, right now, my life is just chaotic. It's just out of control. And I don't know what to do. So I'm gonna go back to church. I'm gonna lay on this altar, and whatever you tell me to do, whatever you say, that's what it's gonna be. I'm gonna just have to deal with it. If I don't like it, oh well. You said it. That's what it is. So that's why I went back to church.
I'm so proud of you, friend. Like, if I'm really honest, I'm so proud of you, because I had never been through that situation. So I didn't know. I would always pray. I was like, God, give me the words to encourage her to be at your feet again. You know what I'm saying? Just to be at your feet, not this man, not even your family, because they had a very large impact on your journey as well. And I'm just so thankful that I was trying to find the happy medium between like constantly encouraging you and then being a friend, because you know we can kiki it up, you know. We can kiki it up, but for me, it was like I felt like your soul was at risk.
It was.
That's what I felt. Yeah, I felt like your soul was at risk.
It was, I think, that Thanksgiving 2 years ago. It was my first Thanksgiving. He wasn't here. Like, we were separated, but he was still here. Like, come over. And it was the first one where he was with somebody else. And they were posting videos and all this. And I was like, he had lied, saying he was sick. He wasn't sick. But anyway, and I had went on TikTok because I was sad. I had bought 2 bottles of wine. I drank it on Thanksgiving, and I was drunk. And I made a video on TikTok. And then the next day when I was not drunk, I looked at it and I was like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? What is going on? And I was like, yeah, I gotta go to church. I gotta do something, because I can't keep doing this. This is crazy.
I'm just proud.
That's what did it. But thank you. It was hard.
It was hard, friend. People think that these types of decisions are easy, and they're not. You know, they're very difficult. And the truth of the matter is that you wanted your family. You wanted to be a family with your husband, and And it just didn't work out that way, which was for the better, because you're more, I don't care. I don't care for this person. So it is what it is. I told them before, you know how I feel.
I do.
And I will say this. I am thankful that your experience with him did not take you out.
It was close.
It was more than once. More than once. I felt like I tell people all the time that sometimes when the person that you may love them, you may love them to life, you may love them to the end, but that person's mission, and it's spirit led as well. Sometimes they don't know that the enemy's using them, or that might just be that person's character as well. But it's to assassinate you in that situation, because it's like being an empty shell is not good. Living in a space where you can't talk to anybody is not good. Not having any friends is not good. And we've deemed him a narcissist. He's never gone to a clinic to be diagnosed, but that's just what we know and what we see. Thank you to TikTok University.
I don't looked up the TikTok amazing videos on TikTok. That's what it is.
Thank you, TikTok University. You be helping us. And us, I think this is why you got to be mindful of like who your friends are, like, and having a good circle and people that cover you, not just want to party all the time. Like there's people you like. We talk about this too, about like having, it's just like you won't go on a trip with all of your friends. There's some friends you don't mind going on a trip with, you know what I'm saying? But then there's some folks you would never ever go on a trip with them because they're terrible. They're terrible. They complain all the time. Don't nothing make them happy. They get upset, so that means everybody got to be upset. They don't like the food. And I feel like it's the same thing with friendships and other types of relationships. I think when God removed him out of your life, it was at the same time that he was bringing me closer into yours. So that feeling of being alone didn't just settle in, and it didn't just overtake you. It puts you in a place of like, well, I don't know, how is it to be my friend? You tell the people what your experience of me as, or how I'm not to, and I promise you this is not to boast. I just want this to be an example of what type of friends you may need to look for and who you need to have in your life as well. You know, because it's hard. It's hard.
Let the people know. Let the people know. Okay. Yeah, good friend. You're loving. You give me gentle, like, love, but then you be hard sometimes, and I be like, ooh, that hurt, but I needed it. Thank you anyway.
I do.
I do. You check up on me. You make me come out of the house because I will stay in this house forever and a day. But then you remind me of how loving I am, of how patient I am. Because sometimes I be like, I am not that patient, but you like, yes, you are. And I be like, okay, I must be doing something right.
Because you are.
I don't think so, but bless you.
Brad, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell y'all this. This is an exclusive. Let me tell you something. This person, okay, this person over here, I don't care. I'm not saying that she is a punching bag. I'm not saying that. I want to say that the Lord has given her a capacity that I could never do. Because some of the things that has been said and done, I'll be like, so we fighting. And she be like, no, Alicia, we're not fighting. We're not fighting. We're just gonna we're just gonna let this be what it is, but we're not gonna fight. I'll be like, no, we're fighting. I'm gonna show up. You want me to put my black on? I'm ready. Like, I already got my all black on. Let's do this. Let's handle this. But she'd be like, nope. She was like, I'm gonna just give him to God. And I was like, she done tapped into something I ain't never seen before.
But what happened though? What happened though? It was worse than when God dealt with it than when I did.
Facts. It was. I mean, I just wanted to help him. I just feel like the Lord needs some help.
You just wanted a little push, you know what I'm saying?
So let's get that ball rolling. Like, let's get that ball rolling. But it's like I I'm thankful for this sisterhood. I'm thankful that the Lord brought me into your life and you into my life during that season, because with all the things that have happened in these almost 10 years now, I feel loved. And I think this is the first, I don't want to say I haven't had any friends that love me, because that would be wrong and that'd be me lying. But I will say this is the first friendship that grew from a different space. Like, other ones, they were like in this season of my life, like I got a college best friend, one is my sister and she's my best friend, but you are a genuine connection that grew into this sisterhood that I would not replace it for anything on the planet. And I thank you for that, and for bringing me into your home. Like, I'm not from here. And so outside of like my family and the friend that moved away to Atlanta, like I didn't have nobody else. It was just me and my husband, and at the time no kids, but it was just me and him. And you've really shown me that there are some good people out here. And I thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome, friend. I love you.
I love you. I love you. Well, Destiny, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for allowing me to just chit chat with you. Really, this is just girl time at this point.
It is.
We, of course, we talked about disappointment in dating. I cannot wait to see who God has in store for you. I'm gonna have to vet him. Just let the people know I'm gonna have to vet him.
Yeah, you already know. I'm like, I need you to have this interview with Alicia real quick. It's not. It's just simple.
I'll put you on my calendar. I'm willing to do Zoom calls.
Answer a few questions. Give your social, birth certificate, license. You know what I'm saying?
So we can do a background check. Cause we do Google,
tag
we
number,
do search.
If you got one,
I was like, some things we can forgive, not all things. You know what I'm saying? But I'm thankful that you are. It's a beautiful thing to witness, to see you go through all of that. Like, when you said that you were buried, like that's really what. If I can think, when I look back at some of those pictures and videos of you, it's like you were really, really pushing to overcome it and to get through it, and you made it, friend.
I made it.
Round of applause. You made it onto the other side. But I know this is encouragement for somebody else. Don't give up. Do not give up. The relationship that you want, the friendship that you want. I know we're talking about dating, but even friendships, like, you deserve to have somebody who's in your corner, who loves you, who prays over you, who covers you, who will intercede for you, who will step in moments of hard times, who will pull you out of darkness and be like, nah, you're going to come outside today, sis. We're going to wash our buns today. Let's go ahead and put some makeup on. That's a real thing. Like, depression is real, especially, I believe that the enemy uses isolation to put you in a place where you feel like there's no hope. And once you become hopeless, that's where those other types of thoughts happen. And I'm just glad that he brought me into your life and you into mine, so that we can just cover each other in sisterhood. Is there anything else that you want to share with the people who are listening? I got TikTok live here. They've been so sweet. I see that there's been a few of them who stayed the entire time we've been doing this. So thank you. Is there any last words that you would want to give to someone who's dating and want to give them some encouragement?
Yes, I would say that it's nothing wrong with waiting. It is nothing wrong with waiting for the person that you think you deserve. And during that time, don't try to focus on it. Don't try to, try to make yourself not be who you're not supposed to be. Just wait, pray, and work on yourself. And then when the time is ready, that person will approach you and they'll have all the things that you're looking for, all the things you prayed for. They'll be exactly who you prayed for, and it'll be worth it. It'll all be worth it. So don't be in a rush. Don't get impatient. Don't get anxiety about it. I'm supposed to be this age and nothing's happened. It's going to happen. It's not going to be on your time, though. It's going to be on God's time. So while you wait, serve, pray, get closer to Him, and it'll all work out.
That's a beautiful place to stop. Destiny, one more time, thank you so much. And I am your favorite Wild Preacher's Kid, Lady Abdullah. And I had Destiny Lane here today, and we discussed disappointment in dating. But we talked about a whole lot of stuff today. So, of course, this episode will air Monday at 7 a.m. So make sure you follow, like, subscribe. We're, of course, streaming on all platforms right now. I'm working on a couple of other ones. I still got to get verified, so fingers crossed by the next time that we do this. But I do this every Sunday, and we stream on TikTok for the live recording. I want to just leave you guys with this. Continue to sit at His feet. Continue to pursue His voice. Continue to ask God to reveal Himself to you in a way that only He can. The closer and closer that we get to Him, the closer and closer we get to what God has for us. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what your grandma, your mama, your auntie, your uncle say. Everybody can have a say-so in your life, but the best say-so is God's voice. I don't care. If you're a believer or if you're a non-believer and you're like, I don't know if I want to do that, I still would recommend. It's not about the pastor. It's not about the church. It's truly about what God would have for you. And if you are sitting at His feet, He will most definitely tell you who you are and whose you are. And that's it, you guys. As I like to finish my episode, hey, keep being wild for God and keep going. God wants to see you and He wants to use you. All right. Thanks, Destiny.
Love you.
Love you.